Well, hello, and a very happy Saturday morning to all my controversy casters out there. Thank you for joining me on this Saturday morning here, bright and early, 7 a.m. for myself on the Pacific Standard Time, and 10 a.m. for all of those on the Eastern Standard Time. So, thank you very much. I know this is going to be my smaller cruise, my smaller knit of cruisers that come in on a Saturday and talk about cruising. So we have 3 topics to cover today, but before we do that, I have something very special to do, including a Mugshots. But on Thursday, I did receive a package which I had forgotten to open on Thirsty Thursday. So I am going to open it right now. It is actually from Liz and Chris from Carnival Cruise Addict. So thank you guys. See what it is. I think I already know what it is, but we're gonna open this up. I'll put this on right now. It's a Carnival Cruise Addicts hoodie, my favorite color. Let me put it on right now. Yes. Oh, your boy is flashing now. Look at this. Oh, yeah. Oh, now we're ready to do the podcast. I love it. Look at this. Thank you very much, Chris and Liz, Carnival Cruise Addicts, nice and big. So now we are ready to get the podcast underway, episode number 37. So let's kick it off with this, my favorite segment of this podcast. It's Mugshots. Yes, in this week's mugshot, I actually have put this creator up before, but he sent me another mug, so I thought, why not do it again? This man you can see tonight with his usual suspects about 9 p.m. EST. And then you can see him Monday through Friday, every single day of the week at 7:15 in the morning and also 9:15 in the morning. He does the morning shows, and I'm talking about Mr. Eddie Lugo Studios. Yes, I did bring up both mugs. This is, well, they're both new, but this is the older of the new, and this is the newer of the new. So please go over and check my good friend Eddie Lugo Studios. Yo. Please go check him out. And he also sent me some Yokono coffee, one of my favorite. It's one of the only non-organic that I will drink. So thank you very much, Eddie. This is your Mugshots feature. And if you would like to get your mug, your creator mug on Mugshots, send me an email or send me a mug and we will get you on the list. So thank you very much, Eddie. Go on and check Eddie Lugo Studios out. And now, as Jimmy says, best sip of the day, baby. Let's take our coffees or whatever you're drinking and take a nice big sip. Yes. All right, let's see who's come into the podcast so we can get this thing underway here. First in this morning was Mr. Steven. Hello, Mr. Steven. Early, bright and early, a couple hours early before the podcast. I'm going to skip through the pre-show talk. As you know, Mr. Bill is doing that show on cruise ship safety. So this week's banter with Bill, catch him. Dustin Anderson is here. Hello, Mr. Dusty. Welcome in. Aunt Simone is here. And happy Saturday morning to you, buddy. Let's see here. Mr. PMB is here. Hello, Mr. PMB. Welcome in. And yes, that is Steven's reminder. Controversial cruising and everyone. Bill, on his banter with Bill, will be talking about Amy Lynn and the missing Amy Lynn Bradley. And so make sure to watch Mr. Bill this Thursday. Let's see here. Good morning, Carnival Cruise Addicts. Thank you very much. I'm all swagged up now. You guys are bright and back and bushy-eyed from your cruise, so I hope you guys are having a good Saturday morning. TJ is also here. Hello, TJ. And Carnival Cruise Addict says, oh, my God, I met him. That's TJ in the flesh. That's right. Michelle WPB is also here. Hello, Michelle. Good morning. Good morning. Cruising complete. Mr. Bear is here. Welcome in, Mr. Bear. TJ only got a couple hours of sleep and now he's editing. Guess what? I know all about that. Danny Dizzler, the Fizzler, is here. Hello, Danny Dizzle. Welcome in. Happy Saturday to you. Mandy Smith is here. Hello, Mandy. Welcome in, Miss Mandy. Happy Saturday to you. My aunt is here, Miss June and Uncle Brady. Aunt June and Uncle Brady. Hello, guys. Travel, yes, we see, says bonjour. Hello, Travel. Welcome in. Great to see you. Happy Saturday. Miss Ohio Travels with Chris is here. Hello, Chris. Happy Saturday to you. Another one of our cruisers. One of my fellow cruisers here getting ready for brunch, Mr. Mark Booze. Hello, Mr. Booze. Hope you are doing well, my friend. I saw you got to see that that trilogy dining package video where you had you definitely had a solo in that video. So I want to go back. I want to relive it all, Mr. Booze. I miss it. I want to go cruising right now. It was so much fun. I didn't know how much fun I was having when I was having the fun, Mr. Booze. Oh my God. Mr. Texas Cruiser is here. Hello, Texas Cruiser. Welcome in. Bear shares that he is doing a coffee and Red Bull. Wakey, wakey. Ooh, I love it. Greg is here from Cruise Life TV. Hello, Greg. One of the ones that I always get a text message from if I cancel this show on a whim. So him and Eddie are the ones that always are in my inbox. Did you cancel the show? Is there a podcast today? I can't do my Saturday without it. Even though Eddie's sleeping right now, so. Let's see. Mr. Zach is here. It's the weekend. He can come in and hang out with us. Hello, Mr. Coca Culture. Hope you are having a good weekend. Hope you and the fam have something planned that is fun. A lot of you in here chatty today. I love it. I love it. Okay, cool. I think we have gotten all the way down to the bottom of the chat. And today's 3 topics are going to be a little different. They are going to be centralized around cruising. But as you know, I always look for 3 kind of controversial topics for us to talk about in the cruise and travel industry world. This is a 30-minute podcast because I don't want to steal any more time from you guys on a Saturday morning. So let's get right into it. I found this one. This is kind of Carnival Cruise again, kind of Carnival Cruise specific. But you guys let me know if you guys have run into this problem if you bring this item on Embarkation Day. So, recently, a guest passenger has brought up kind of a conflicting issue with an item that they used to be able to bring in 2021. And I am talking about those collapsible wagons. Now, some of you might bring them to a ball game, or some of you might bring them to other activities on land. And yes, they do help you carry a lot of things. Now, this passenger had reached out to John and said back before 2021, we were able to bring these kind of like collapsible, excuse me, oh my God, collapsible wagons, right? To either help us bring CPAP machines or sodas or extra luggage, because, hey, we all know we're overpackers, especially myself, okay? And we were allowed to bring the collapsible wagon in 2021, but now it's actually a prohibited item. Well, on board, it's a prohibited item. You can actually use it still out in port. It's actually listed as an in-port item only, which means you have to carry that wagon from, let's say, deck 6 all the way until you get off the ship, and then you can use it in port, collect your items, and then right when you get back to the ship, you got to unfold the things and then carry all the items and then also carry the wagon. They say, due to the wheels ruining the decks and the infrastructure, and then some people not being aware that sometimes the wagon doesn't go all the way around the corner. It has nicked some corners, and they had to do some touch-ups and things like that. So John said, unfortunately, you cannot use those wagons on board. And he does know that it is an inconvenience. And this passenger said, well, I'm not platinum or I'm not diamond, so I have to wait till 1:30 to go to my room, and I carry a lot of stuff. I think this passenger had a CPAP. They bring their Sprite on board. They also overpack. So, of course, it's not John's problem. It is the passenger's problem. But I want to know, do you guys, or have you guys ever thought, or have you guys ever used one of these collapsible wagons? I had never even thought about it. I would have thought they would have been prohibited from day one just because of the size and how big they are. But before 2021, you were allowed to use them. You are still allowed to use them out in port. And I actually kind of, believe it or not, now that I think about it, I kind of actually do see some of them out in port because A, you might want to get some liquors, or you might want to get some things that you don't want to carry around. But while you're passing that store in the port of call or something, you might want to just grab the liquors because you might not have time later, or you might forget, or whatever it may be, right? I do see some people with the smaller wagons or the smaller carts, whatever you want to call them, wagons, carts, whatever it may be. So I'm just wondering if you guys have ever used one of these wagons on the ship. You can share pre-2021, or even now, maybe you have a family of 5 or a family of 4, right? I'm looking at Zach, he's got 2 kids and a wife, and maybe there's the collapsible wagon really helps you kind of, I don't know, keep everything in one centralized location before you get to go to your room at 1:30. Because I do have to say, I don't really bring too much on the day of embarkation, and mostly I don't give my bag to the porter because it's like that small little carry-on. But I could imagine how annoying it would be to lug around the soda and lug around the CPAP machine and lug around, the kids' toys and lug around this and lug around that. I could imagine. I'm just one single cruiser normally, so I don't have too much. I would never really think about bringing a wagon, but I could think about it for families or people that have like the CPAP machines for sure. Let's see. And this is one of the newer articles that have come out. I think one of the passengers recently tried to bring on one of those wagons and was told that they couldn't use it on the vessel on board on the ship, but they could use it off the ship. And they were kind of surprised by it. Let's say they just didn't read it before. Let's see here. Blah, 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 blah. If it doesn't fit in my backpack, I don't bring it. I have honestly started to become a cruiser like that, Dustin. I used to, when I first started this channel, man, I would pack everything from the kitchen sink. Like, I might need it. And then I bring it, and I'd never even take it out of my bag. So yes, now if it does not fit my backpack, most of the time I don't take it. Mr. Tuber Chat is here. Welcome in, Mr. Tuber Chat. We have a collapsible wagon when we go to the beach. Yes, and that's where I've seen a lot of it, especially in Nassau when you got to walk down that road. I have seen a lot of the collapsible wagons for the beach. Now that you bring that up for your umbrellas or your chairs or whatever it may be that you need to bring in there, your cooler, right? That you don't want to drag across the sand. So that's a really good point. Do you pack that with you, Greg, in your suitcase? Is it like, because I know there are smaller ones and then really small and then kind of medium sized. Do you guys pack that, or do you just bring it along as a carry-on, an extra carry-along item? A wagon would be way too much to maneuver waiting for before 2021. Sorry, I don't know what that was. Before 2021, so that's kind of why they put a stop to it. I had never really honestly even thought about it or heard of it. But I mean, honestly, for people that have a lot of things, it could come in handy. Lori Barber. Hello, Lori. Welcome in. We've never used one, but can see how it could be handy to use import. Right. And then when John came back and said it's an import item only, I'm like, why would you ever use that import? That doesn't make sense. And I'm like, wait, yes, it does. It does make sense, right? For all your souvenirs or even your backpack. Like if you're carrying your backpack and you're like, oh, I'm so tired of carrying this thing, or your beach bag, you just put it in the wagon. Boom. I didn't put 2 and 2 together. Law says, interesting. Yeah, Law, have you ever brought a collapsible wagon on a cruise ship? Never even thought about it. We thought about bringing on board. I'm sorry. The wagons have wheels that you can still roll when it's collapsed. Oh, interesting. Well, not on Carnival because it ruins the decks and the carpets. Apparently, that's what they said. I never used one. Okay. I've used them for baseball games. That's where I use them, not on ships, but they actually come in handy to carry a lot of your baseball equipment. So my coach had one, and we used to use it all the time. It was great. Let's see. Steven says, I have. Okay. Definitely use one of those collapsible wagons. Honestly, they really do make a lot of things easier. And I know This was centralized to Carnival. So if you cruise on Royal or MSC or Norwegian, I'm not sure exactly about their policy, but I'm sure it would be somewhat similar. I'm sure that you could find some exceptions on some lines where they would let you use them. Because again, I could just imagine somebody with a CPAP, 12 pack of Sprite, X, Y, and Z, and them having to wait until 1:30 to get into their cabins. It would just be like, no, 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 no. Yes, and I think they should. And that's what this passenger came back and said. Like, I'm not really hurting anybody. Normally, I would just kind of bring the wagon from one place to another, and I'm sitting normally and waiting till 1:30. But it just helps me get my items to the place where I want to sit and wait until my cabin. They're not like, perusing around the ship with this wagon. I wouldn't want to anyway. It would just be such a pain in the ass. I try to take as little stuff as possible. I do too. And honestly, to tell you the truth, like I said, I usually bring my bag up just because I like to have it there and I don't like to wait. But on MSC, they wouldn't let me, and I had to give it to the porter. And honestly, I kind of found a lot of joy in that. I almost forgot I had a bag. I got on, I'm like, my suitcase. I'm like, oh, shit, I gave it to the porter already. Because I don't do that. So I might start doing that now, to tell you the truth. Good morning, fam. Good morning, Cam fam. Welcome in. Good morning, Scott. Not good morning, fam. Good morning, Cam fam. Welcome in. So tell me why can't people use backpacks now? I don't know. I have a perfect travel backpack, to be honest with you. I've upgraded because I got one a couple years ago and it was super small. I used it. It ripped, and then I actually got a really good one sitting over here, and I use it every day for work. I use it for work. I use it for cruising. It's got a perfect spot for my laptop. That's honestly what I would do. But I will tell you, Law, I am young, right? But even carrying that backpack on your back for 6 to 8 hours at a time, starting from when I leave Phoenix to when I get to Florida to the 1:30 check-in time, or until when I get on the ship, because I'm platinum still right now, so I can go to my room and put my bag in. But I'm telling you, carrying a backpack for that long, I'm telling you, dude, even if there's not a lot in it, it gets stressful. You're just like, oh, I want to get this thing off of me. But I do love my backpack. Don't get me wrong. I have one that I use to bring the groceries into the house. Yes, I've seen that. A lot of the Door Dashers, especially the ones that come to my hotel, a lot of the Door Dashers will use those wagons. So I can tell you they serve purpose on land, but I don't know. As I was reading this, I was not making the connection between wagons, collapsible wagons, and cruising. So I was looking for you guys to help me. So Michelle sits on it. Don't remind me. I took a rickshaw, a 2-person rickshaw with Carnival Cruise Addicts, and Chris was sitting on my lap. I was sitting on something else. I don't want to say it on air, but that reminds me of this. So no, I am not sitting in any collapsible wagon or collapsible rickshaw or anything like that ever again. Okay, but it was a very funny ending to the video. Haven't used one. Would like to get one. Yeah, for cruising, Chris, or for traveling Ohio. Oh, you see what I did there? I'm a guy that can pack for a week in a backpack. I did try that on the Islander. I believe I tried to do a backpack because I was only 4 days, Bill, 4 days, 5 days. But I failed. So I still had to bring my small. There was a bunch of vloggers on there, so I had to bring like stickers and giveaways and stuff like that. So I couldn't do it. I tried. Let's see. No, so they haven't banned wagons. They've said on Carnival Cruise Lines that you cannot use them on the ships. They are for in-port use only. So before 2021, Mitch, you could bring them on and you could bring them around the ship until 1:30 until your room was ready, and then go to your room and yada yada yada. Now you can bring them, but you have to keep them collapsed. All right. And even if they're collapsed and they're on the wheels, nope, the wheels cannot touch the floor or the decks of the ship because they're prohibited, but you can use them out in port. Let's say when you get to the Bahamas and you want to go, souvenir shopping for all the girls, you can bring your cart and fill up the cart. But when you get back and you're going to get back on the ship, you got to take all the stuff out and then you got to collapse it back up and you got to, yes. So kind of a big pain in the ass. So I guess prohibited in a way, but not really prohibited. You can still use them, but there's a lot of workarounds and it's a pain in the ass. I've used them at markets like flea markets. Yes, that makes sense for produce where there are no carts, but 2-wheel carts are far less intrusive. They are. Yes. Yes. And this cruiser did not bring up the 2-wheel, but John said even any wheels will wreck the infrastructure. He tried to keep it professional, the infrastructure of the ship. I don't know. I would think 2 wheels would be a lot less intrusive for sure. Let's see. I got the backpack you recommended. It's huge. Yeah. I love it. It's got 3 sections. I forget that I even put some stuff in there. I'm like, "Oh, shit, that's where my solar charger is." If I keep going the way that I'm going, I may need a wagon for all my camera gear. Yeah, it's addictive, Barry. I'm telling you, it's addictive. I just got a DJI 2, so I'm buying all the accessories for it now and stuff. If you are vlogging, it frees you up to give your luggage to the porter. Yes, and I'm honestly learning that now. Um, Most of the time, I would just carry my own bag because it wasn't that big, and it could get you on and off the ship easier because they call your self assist. That's what they call it, self assist. So if you do your self assist when you get off, it's actually a lot easier. On, I don't know. I don't know. I'm actually starting to give my bag to the porter now. To be honest with you. Both cruising and around Ohio. I love that. I love that. Yeah, collapsible wagons. That's exactly where I first saw one at my baseball game. My coach had one. I loved it. I was one of the helpers of the equipment, so I got to put my bag in there. Great. It was amazing. I love it. Let's see. Gotcha. Yes, we have seen people pull stuff on ship. Well, there you go. This is only Carnival. So if you're going on Royal and Norwegian, I'm not exactly sure of their policy, but Carnival has said it wrecks our deck, so you can't use them on the ship. Great money maker for Carnival. Rent them at the pier for the day. Don't give them any more ideas, Greg. Don't you do that. You've seen the one I found on Amazon. Might bring a carry-on suitcase and a backpack. Oh, okay, that's a good idea. Hikanuki World Tours is here. Hello, Hikanuki World Tours. Says blanket hello to everyone. Blanket hello, happy Saturday to you. Canadian family is also here. Hello, Tiffany. Happy Saturday to you. Okay, so down and enough about the collapsible wagons. Let's move on to our second topic so we can cover all of them today. And we are going to talk a little bit about Celebration Key. Now, I have not been to Celebration Key. Sorry, I'm going to stop moving the desk. I have not been to Celebration Key, but I know that there are some people in here that have been to Celebration Key, so you guys can let us know. But I found this article on the internet, and it stated bees, like bees in the trap, bees at Celebration Key, right? So if you have visited Celebration Key recently, there has been an influx of bees. Now, normally on private islands and exotic places and Caribbean places, there are bees. It just is what it is. But unfortunately, and maybe I'm wrong, but when you were at Celebration Key, I'm talking all the people that were in Celebration Key this last week, okay? John said, and other cruisers have said, that there were a lot of bees, okay? And yes, they were annoying, and Carnival doesn't exactly know how they are going to take care of the bee issue right now, but John did state that bees love exotic flowers, which were put all around Celebration Key by man to make it more beautiful and beautify the entire island. And bees do like flowers. That is true. I was a florist, 100% true. And bees also like sugary soda. And Americans love sugary soda, right? So those are the two main things that are on Celebration Key. And John said, well, that's what's attracting the bees. Now, my question to you is bees are a natural thing. There's nothing that we could do with bees. We can't go and blame Carnival for the bees. We can't do that. But I want to know, those who were at Celebration Key multiple times, did you have a bee problem? Were there a lot of bees there? Was it annoying? Were you swatting? Did you get stung? I saw an article. I think this was over fabricated, but a lady got stung like 3 times by bees or whatnot. John also extended where the medical services were. I read it. I totally forgot. But it's at one side of the island. So he said, if you do have an allergic reaction to a bee sting, we have medical attention, great medical attention on the island. So be careful. I don't know. That was just the worst joke ever. But I want to know, were there a lot of bees? It's not gonna defer me from going to Celebration Key, because I'm sure that by the time I end up getting there, they'll have this bee problem under wraps or back in the hive or whatever you want to call it. But for those who are going now and who have just gone, I want to know, were you like eating and doing like this, or like eating and like swatting your stuff, or like trying to like cup your soda so like the bees don't get in your soda? I'm sure it's just extra protein if you drank one and it was, floating upside down. But I want to know. Let's see. And I know a few of you have been to Celebration Key already, and I'm so jealous. We do a cooler backpack. Ooh, I have a cooler backpack too. Yeah, I definitely have a cooler backpack. I don't know if I bring that on a cruise with me though, but I could. I mean, it's collapsible. I can collapse that cooler suitcase or cooler backpack and put it in my other backpack. That's what I could do. That's pretty good. That's okay. It seems Carnival doesn't listen to our ideas. I mean, hey, you give them a great idea, but all the cruisers would be like, Greg from Cruise Life TV told them to charge us for our wagons, and now they're $17.99 for 17 minutes. Something like that. Let's see here. Yeah. Oh, okay. Carnival Cruise Addicts was there, and they're giving some bee emojis. So I'm guessing there were bees. Carnival Cruise Addicts was definitely there. Travels with PMB was also there. Yes, the bees are turgerm. I'm guessing that means everywhere. The bees are there. The bees are there. Oh, there they go. The bees are not in the trap. There were some bees near the bars, obviously, sugary drinks and sodas and things like that. Of course, that's any bar you go to, right? But were there more bees than normal? Between the first and second time we went, it was already improving as they are taking measures. Now, I'm wondering if the measures, okay, and of course, I'm sure we don't all know, but I want to know, are they out there spraying chemicals to get rid of the bees, or are they getting them bees away naturally? And I don't know how you would get bees away naturally. I'm not a beekeeper, but I would just assume if they're out there trying to spray the chemicals, yes, I mean, obviously one problem extinguishes the other, but then you kind of run into another problem where, you're spraying all these pesticides or herbicides or whatever you use to get the bugs away. I forget, but bugicide, and you're spraying all that, and then the people that are there are breathing that in. I don't know. Call me crazy, but at least they're working on the bee problem. So I know you guys have gone twice. So on that back to back. Bees aren't the problem, says Travel. Yes, we see. Overreacting and swatting the bees is the problem. That's right. Leave the bees alone, and they leave you alone. And that's 100% true. Once you start swatting them, they get more angry. They call over their friends. They do the little thing out their little butt where, it's like pheromones or something, where it's like, humans trying to kill us. And then all the bees start to come, and then they all swarm you, and then you're just doing this. And then, like, so Travel, that is probably the best comment of the entire bee conversation, is this right here. If you leave the bees away, they will leave you away. And yes, there's exceptions to the rules. I'm sure if you leave the bees away, and there has been cases where an angry bee is just angry for whatever reason and stings you and you're not doing anything. Yes, but few and far in between. You will rile up the bees a lot more if you're swatting them or taking napkins or, doing whatever, swatting them with forks. I've seen all kinds of crazy things, and I've been part of it too. So stay out of their bees' nest, right? And they will stay out of yours. That's right. These are usually yellow jackets. Artificial flowers and Diet Coke to fix it all. There you go. I don't know if the Diet Coke would fix it, but the artificial flowers would definitely fix it. But they also said that this was too beautiful of an island to put fake flowers, because somebody also said that. Well, why don't you rip out all the flowers that you just spent all the money for, the plants that you just spent all the money for, and remake them with artificial? Like, first of all, that's going to cost double the money. Second of all, we just imported all of these beautiful exotic flowers to be here in Celebration Key. We're not ripping them out. So I could see how that might help the problem, but they ain't doing it. They were a little annoying. Okay. Najuma Brown. Hello, Najuma. Welcome in. I'm highly allergic to wasp and yellow jacket stings. And yes, and one of the cruisers, that's what they said. One of their concerns, this was not somebody who got stung, but somebody who had voiced their opinion. They were on Celebration Key and said that the same thing, they were allergic to bee stings and things like that. And then that's where John came in and said, if in a rare case, you do need medical attention. There is medical attention on the other side of the island. Somebody that had been there, you can tell me what exactly location it is, but there is medical attention on the island. So, da, da, da. Oh, my award! You want to see my award? This is not for this show, but this is for me and Bill's show on Wednesday, our best series collab 2024. Thank you very much, Steven. That's right. Complainers. I went in the water and got wet. I said I got sand in the crack of my ass. Carnival customers do nothing but complain. Yeah. Cruisers, mostly cruisers, to be honest with you. Hopefully Carnival, yes, and they do. They have not EpiPens. It was something else that they said that is basically like an EpiPen. They do have that. Yes, John did say that. I only saw TJ was also at Celebration Key. I only saw bees near the bar area, Pearl Cove. They were flying near the mixers, which makes sense. Grenadine, sweet and sour, right? All of that, blue carousel, all of that. So it makes sense. 110%. Oh, nice. John said they are using natural methods. I think they said some type of mint or something. Yes, mint gets away bees. That is 110% right. I have done that myself in Long Island. Mint gets away bees. So I'm glad they're doing some kind of, it's probably some kind of essential oil, Liz, like essential oil mint spray. Awesome. I love that. I love that. No chemical. I know that was the thing that kind of, that's the first thing that I thought. I'm like, okay, well, they're getting rid of the bees. How are they getting rid of the bees? It's just what I want to know. I'd say they aren't spraying. Good. I'm glad. Peppermint oil. Yes. Peppermint oil, spiders and bees, both. Let's see. This is not cruise related. That's okay, Danny. But during my big bro ceremony, while I was sitting down, I was swatting a fly. A fly? Oh, go away, fly. Randy from Scrow's Nest is here. Hello, Randy. Welcome in. My fantasy football team used to be called the Angry Bee. I love that. You're reminding me I have my fantasy football draft in like a month. Anyone that has a biology always carries their own EpiPen. Yes, and you definitely should, especially going to there or anywhere tropical or Caribbean or even period. Just out, right? Because bees are everywhere. And if you're allergic, yes, you should have an EpiPen. 110%. Hughes Cruise Life TV mints only for those who are at the meetup. What, Greg? You nut? Oh, Lord. All right, let's talk about our last topic. Those bees got us in the trap. Amelia G is here. Spectacular Saturday to you. Hello to you. Thank you very much, Amelia. Okay, so the last topic actually comes to me from a curiosity of one of my other co-hosts on another podcast. That would be Monday, Elisa's Adventures in Cruising. I'm sure she's running around getting ready for Greece. But as I was reading the stories, this one kind of started to get me thinking, right? And it may not just be Greece, and this is why it got me to thinking, but Greek tax for Royal Caribbean cruisers is starting to be implemented. Now, some of you that may have already sailed to Greece this year on Royal Caribbean, you may have already started to see some of these. Okay, so beginning August 1st, which yesterday, tax rates will be depending on the sailing dates. Okay, so whether you're sailing in peak season to Greece, whether you're sailing in shoulder season, or whether you're sailing in the off season, right, there are going to be different taxes now implemented if you are to go out in port. Now, Royal did say they will refund those tax rates if you do not get off the ship. So let's just say one of the more popular Mykonos, right? Let's say you get to Mykonos and you don't get off the ship and they don't record you, beeping off the ship. You will actually get that money back into your sign and sail account. Now, anybody that had booked this cruise on Royal Caribbean before September, 20th of 2024, already has these taxes built in. I'm sorry, after September 20th, 2024, already has these taxes built in. If not, okay, once you get on the ship, these taxes will actually be added to your sign and sail. So I do have a little bit of a breakdown, and this is mostly right now starting to take place in Mykonos and Santorini, which are the two bigger ports in Greece that a lot of the ships do go to, especially for Royal. So in peak season, you will see about a $23 increase on the port charges there. In shoulder season, you'll see about $13-ish. Okay. And then in off season, you'll see about $4.61, give or take. Okay. So right now we're in that shoulder season. So when Elisa is going, I know, well, she's actually going with a lot of people. Elisa's going, Edna's going, Life with V is going. I've been watching all of their series. So this kind of got me thinking about that. I know a lot of people are also thinking about going to Greece. And I know a lot of other ports, Alaska, Hawaii, right? They're also thinking about implementing taxes like this for cruisers. Now, I know most of the people, when they hear a tax like this, right, the assumption is that where's the money going, right? You're charging me right now. We'll talk about shoulder season because this is when the ladies are going. They're going in shoulder season. So you're charging me an extra $13.85 to get off in Mykonos and Santorini. But what are you using the money for? Right? What is Greece using the money for? What is the cruise line's not getting any of the money, but what is Greece using the money for? What is the port of Mykonos using the money for? What is the port of Santorini using the money for? And here's what they've said. Okay. So these measures that they have taken to implement these taxes, they're not punitive, right? They're not to punish you. They're not to keep you guys away from sailing to Greece. Okay. They are marked as environmental and conservation measures, right? To help them upkeep the beaches, to help them upkeep the infrastructure that you guys are going to see, to help them upkeep the temples and the roads and things like that. So when I hear these things, right, to preserve the places that we love to sail or that we want to sail to, like Greece, okay, $13.85 if I'm going to get off the ship and explore Mykonos or Santorini, I got no problem with that. Now, some of the other ports, right? I can't say for sure what they're doing with the money, but this article in specifically is talking about the Greek tax that is now for Royal Caribbean. And I'm not sure if the ladies are going on Royal Caribbean, but either way, I know that this is going to start to be a thing of the future where there are raised taxes to go into different ports. Now, you may not see this in your common Cozumel or Bahamas. Maybe you might. You want to know what? It might happen. We had heard some rumors early on about Mexico upping their taxes too, with other political things in place. But this has nothing to do with politics. This has everything to do with preserving Greece, okay? And it's all around the time that you're sailing. Again, if you're sailing in off season, which is kind of like hurricane season, $4.61 if you were to get off. Now, if you don't get off, they refund you back on your onboard sailing account. Now, I don't know why you would want to sail all the way to Mykonos and not get off the ship, but that's a totally different animal that we're not going to talk about on the podcast. But for those who are going to Greece and maybe you're not going on Royal, is this tax, or any cruisers, let's just say you show up in Hawaii, is this external tax now going to sway you from getting off the ship in a place that you maybe this is a bucket list cruise? This might be a bucket list cruise for Edna and V and Elisa. I don't know. Maybe they're going to go back every year. I have no idea, right? But would this deter you from getting off the ship if, hey, when I get off the ship and I beat, I'm going to get charged $23.18 in Anchorage, Alaska. So I got to think, do I want to go out in Anchorage, Alaska? Or is it like $23? Take it. That's one drink in the speakeasy. Forget it. Speakeasy. We're not on Carnival. So let's see what you guys have said. I don't want to. I already went over the half an hour. I'm so sorry. I can't. Why just Royal? I don't. Really good question. They do a lot of their sailings and transatlantics and things like that over to Greece. So I think that they're kind of just the first to kind of implement this. I think that there are others that are going to fall into suit, Greg, but I think Royal is just obviously one of the number one players in the game, right? And they go to Greece quite frequently. So yes, plus the Carnival for using Minton traps. Yes, 110%. Captain Sherry is here. Hello, Captain Sherry. Great to see you. Edna's here. Edna, welcome in. This third topic was just about you guys, for you guys. I thought about you guys when I was doing this Greece research. It is pretty cheap, honestly. I mean, Mykonos and Santorini, right? Two of the bigger ports. And now they did say the other Greece ports, the smaller Greece ports, which again, I forgot. I read them, but I forgot. The smaller grease ports are also going to start implementing that come either the new year or when they can get their actual bill passed. But this is in place for Mykonos and Santorini. $23 for peak season, $13.85 for shoulder season, and $4.61 for off season. I mean, and you get it back if you don't go off. That's the thing that I'm like, okay, well, if you decide not to go off, you get it back. So kind of crazy. Eddie Lugo Studios is here. Hello, Eddie. Yo, yo, yo. Welcome in. Welcome in. Embarkation Nation is also here. Hello, Embarkation Nation. Yes, it could be. Yes. So this, they definitely came out and said it's not punitive. They're not punishing anybody. They're not trying to deter anybody from going to Greece. But this is for environmental and conservation measures. Yes, for the infrastructures, for the beaches, for the roads, for all of the tourist things that are in Greece. They want to make sure that these things are staying around a really long time and is enjoyable for those who cruise to Greece, not just here's Greece. It's almost falling down because we didn't have any money to keep up the infrastructure. So there are some ports where they would have to pay me to get off. Yes, Freeport being one of them for sure. But Greece, no. If I took a cruise to Greece, no matter how much money you charge me, well, Carnival, don't come back on this. But no matter how much money you charge me to get off the ship, even if I was on Royal or Carnival or MSC or Norwegian, I would still get off the ship. Because it's Greece, right? I'm bucket list for me for sure. Oh, they're not going on Royal. Okay. Well, either way, I know that this is a suit and this won't obviously be taking place for when you guys are sailing, but I know that this is something that cruise lines and ports are both kind of coming in conjunction with each other. And the ports, right? If they're using the money, the tax money for the right thing, it's going to preserve the ports to keep us sailing there for years and years and years and years. Let's see. See you later, Greg. Have a good one. Enjoy. These taxes are normal in vacation areas. Yeah, you really can't expect the locals to pay for the meager amounts of repairs needed. Yes, 110%. This is something that we're doing, right? We're cruising there. So many ships are going to Greece every single year, right? So many Americans, so many non-Americans, either way, right? Tourists, right? Let's just say tourists are walking into Greece, right? And again, the meager amounts of repairs, the locals aren't paying for it, right? They don't want their tax dollars to go to that. Some of their tax dollars should, right? Because they still live there. But the cruising tax dollars and the cruising taxes, it should be something different. I totally agree. We're spending so much money. Is another $23 really that different? And especially for a port like Mykonos or Santorini, 110%. Yeah, if it's a bucket list, it wouldn't deter me either, like a Hawaii or an Alaska or Greece or Mediterranean or European, any one of those. Italy, any one of those. Let's see. I'd pay it unless it's something ridiculous. If it was something ridiculous like $100 or hundreds of dollars, that would be a punitive measure. That would be a measure to punish the cruisers from coming there, right? Almost kind of what Alaska did. Alaska was actually, they were, I forget exactly what port. It wasn't all the ports in Alaska, but it was one port in Alaska that was kind of in an uproar with how many cruisers had come there in this last year, right? Ruining the roads and ruining all of the tourist things, ruining a lot of things, right? And causing a lot of money for repairs. So they were actually going to put like a punitive tax to kind of keep people and keep the ships from going to that port. It got lifted. It didn't happen, but they were talking about that. And a lot of the localers were picketing against the cruisers, right? It was like the locals didn't want any of the cruisers there. They were like, this is our Alaska. Believe it. Maybe it was, I don't want to spread rumors. Maybe it was Ketchikan. Maybe it was Skagway. I forget exactly what port it was, but it was a popular Alaskan port. Good morning, Eddie. Good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm not here completely here, but good day. No worries, Eddie. You can go back and you can see your Mugshots features. I brought both of the mugs, actually. Both of the mugs and my Yoko Ono. I am drinking that today, so I need to get some work done before work. Yes, if the money goes to improve the area of the port of the people who live there, I'm good with it. Yes, me too, 110%. 23 times 3,000 people per ship times 4 ships a day times 365 days a year is that much money. And think about what that could do, that much money right there could do for Mykonos or Santorini. right? Just Santorini, right? Let's see what that could do for Santorini and the roads and the infrastructure and everything, right? Everything. The buses, the trains. I don't know if there's trains over there. The buses, the public transportation. That's probably better. Better. Da, da, da. Let's see. Where the money goes is only the certain of the local citizens, just like expanding the U.S. park admissions fee. Yes, 110%, without a doubt. Why can't Carnival let soda package be included? Yeah, right. I think they should start to all include all of these cruise companies, right? That's a topic for another day, though. Okay, cool. So I am all the way down to the bottom. I do not want to steal any more time from you guys because this was supposed to be a half-hour podcast, but you guys keep me talking about cruising for times on end on Saturday morning. That is why I love it. I love all of you guys. Thank you guys for all coming in. I hope all of you go out and do something today on this Saturday and Sunday and weekend that makes you guys smile, because all of you guys deserve it. So thank you guys for all coming in to the Saturday podcast. Please go and see Eddie later on for his usual suspects at 9 o'clock tonight for our special Mugshots feature. That was our Mugshots feature now that Mr. Yokono boy is here. So thank you guys very much. I will see you guys all later. I'll see you guys all around the YouTube streets. So have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for waking up with me on Saturday. I will be back here next week with you guys next weekend right here for Controversy Cast number 38. So thank you guys very much. I will see you guys later. Peace and love. Dustin, what are you doing, buddy? Aw, thank you. Let's give Dustin this. Thank you very much, Dustin. And thank you to all of you guys. I hope you guys have a very happy Saturday. I will see you guys later. I'll see you on the YouTube streets.